Day 164 of the Ukrainian war map, also sometimes known as the Russian occupation of Ukraine. Juzzy here, and today is just another quick update of the Ukrainian war map as I continue to take a day-to-day, down-to-earth approach of the happenings on the ground in Ukraine. Now, starting off, what I like to do there, of course, is have a quick look at the Russian losses. Sometimes you do need to take these with a bit of a grain of salt, but it is just an estimate here, currently sitting on 41,500 for Russian military personnel losses. Now, it's probably more accurate to say the things that have been lost, the military equipment indeed that's been lost by the Russian forces. For instance, 4,032 armoured combat vehicles and nearly 1,800 tanks there, and 191 helicopters. Now, moving back to the map there, we'll have a look, and we'll start off with the Sumy region here. Now, there has been indications of some small shelling of villages and homes being identified there, with the picture apparent with that one. If we move across to the Kharkiv region, missiles have in fact been launched from the actual territory of Russia in recent hours. Shelling like this has been already somewhat steady and constant. Russia would of course consider taking this really strategic city, but the Ukrainians are just not letting them. Moving down to the Donbass, now we've got the Slavyansk region. Now I have mentioned this I think in yesterday's video, where I'd probably like to say the counter-offensive has indeed begun. So if we go back a few days, we can see that Russia has more territory here, but then we go forward and we'll see more grey and blue. Now the blue stands for liberated territory, and the grey is sort of in question. It's not confirmed who has it, but it has moved in the direction from red to grey, which is always good to see. This is actually on the border of the Donbass and the Kharkiv region, in fact. But as we continue to go down the Donbass region and have a bit further of a look, in fact, let's have a look at the top corner here, because this is where it gets pretty interesting to me. There's this village of Seversk, or maybe a small town. Oh yeah, it's a small town there. Now, of course, Russia would like to take this. It's part of the Donbass region there as well, that they haven't managed to take so far. A problem that the Russian forces typically seem to encounter is the natural obstacles that are in the way. We can see lakes and rivers and things of that nature, which just really make it hard to trek the terrain there indeed. So that is always something that any offensive force is going to have issues with for certain. If we move down a little bit, I think there was a bit more of a counter-offensive taking place just over here, so with some small villages. So here we go. So we'll go back in time, and you'll see that it appears like Ukraine is taking back this main highway or arterial road there, which is great. Armies, of course, love that for their supply chains and logistics, and you can really see a push back. Therefore, Ukraine pushing forward and causing Russia to pull back, probably a better way to put it there. So that's always quite a positive thing there to see too. We'll move across to the Zaporizhia Oblast region, so really the Zaporizhia province. I'll zoom out to give you guys a bit more context again. I'll start off with, because there has been a bit of news out of here, there has first of all been a military supply depot in the Russian-held territory, area called Tokmak, right here. In fact, if I turn on the fire explosion imagery here, we can see it's probably in the top, I guess, top left region, or the northwest region there, depending. But yeah, effectively, Ukraine has taken out yet another military depot of sorts. So Russia continues to lose their supplies quite a lot. This is starting to get quite common, which is also fantastic to hear there as well. Further on with the Zaporizhia region, now there is, you may have already heard this in the news because it's quite big news, but we have the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant right here, the Enerhodar region or city or town there. It's considered one of the biggest in Europe, in fact, and shelling has actually hit the power lines there. both sides are trading blame. Obviously, Russia will deny nearly everything, if not everything. And as the now old saying goes, nothing is ever confirmed until the Russian government denies it. I'm sure we'll get more information on that shortly. Moving across a little bit here to just actually above on the north side of the Dnieper River, Nikopol. It actually has, there's been data or information about Russian troops shelling Nikopol with multiple projectile missiles, and people are advised to stay indoors at this point there as well. Let's see. But again, this is quite common. So the Dnieper River, it would be very difficult for Russian forces to actually take Nikopol because of this very large natural obstacle of a river right there as well. Now let's move across to the Kherson region. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk of the Ukrainian counteroffensive here, which has really concerned Russia because they had to move forces or disperse them across their front lines more evenly. So that makes them less effective. Probably the reason why Ukraine or the Ukrainian forces are pushing back in the Donbass region, in fact. But let's go and have a bit of a look here and see if there was actually a small change I think I noticed earlier. Okay, up here. So we can see this grey area yesterday, for instance. Now that means that it was unconfirmed territory or territory with an unknown status. But then when we go forward in time, it is now under Ukrainian control. So always good to see there too. And of course, with the Kherson region, we do have the build-up of Russian troops on the north bank there. So that's about it for that one there. Now, unfortunately, Mykolaiv has had some recent somewhat routine shelling. It is, in fact, as of the last hour, in a red alert. So there's an aerial threat. Sirens are sounding as we speak there too. Now, just lastly, in the news, we have North Macedonia said it would actually donate 4 of its Su-25s to Ukraine, similar to the US A-10 Warthogs in the way that they work. So they're sort of like low-flying infantry support airplane there as well. So I'm going to keep it at that for now there. I think there's a bit of unexpected noise in the background, but thanks for watching, guys. Please leave a comment, subscribe, definitely like, show all those trolls in the comments, which you'll definitely see that you're, you know, you like the video and you don't, you know, support those fellas there. But yeah, thanks again, and I do hope to see all of you guys there in the next one. Cheers.